And this is why I think there was some foul play involved in this. You know who did want to open up that shit? Charlie Kirk. Yeah, they offed him because they handpicked Charlie Kirk, the Republican base. I'm not gonna say MAGA, but they handpicked him. He got all this money. Somebody donated all this money for him to open up the Turning Point USA, millions of dollars. He did that, and he started going around schools for the whole goal. The goal of that was to reach out to the young people in colleges and online, trying to bring more young people into the Republican side, trying to appeal to young people. Um, because we all know that the Republicans are made up of old white men who are dying off and they are so out of touch. The young people are where it's at. The TikTok, the social media, that avenue is where they were going heavy. And so they got Charlie Kirk and tasked him to do that, bring the young people into the fold. He did that. He did a very good job at that. Very good job. So good that when he started to fray away from the mainstream MAGA movement.
Why don't you update them, Megan?
Well, this is the first big scandal, I'd say, of the Trump administration that's on Team Rational. It's not a fake media scandal like the left tries to create for President Trump every other day. It's one of the right's own making, and it's not going well. And it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Let me just ask you, make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
Joining us now is Mike Davis. Mike, we have lots to discuss here, but first I want to try to address the issue that many people in our audience are emailing us about. And a lot of people in the audience are quite upset. They are angry, I would say even livid. And this situation has left me personally profoundly confused more than anything else, because I know Cash very well. I know Dan Bongino quite well. I know Pam Bondi, and I think very highly of all of them. But I'm left with more questions than answers. I'm, of course, talking about the Epstein situation. Mike, how should we think about this? Because right now people are really fired up, and to a certain extent, understandably so.
They had given him so much leeway and so much power within the youth that if he were to split off a little bit, then that might impact a lot of the youth that he had reached out to during this time. They might also hear what he's saying and feel the same way. So they had to, I feel like that they had to get rid of him because he was kind of also speaking out against Israel and Netanyahu for all of the war crimes that were going on that they were committing against the Palestinians, and he's speaking out against that. And more than anything, I think that was probably what had gotten him killed.
The faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so.
Israel also benefit from young folks, becoming or coming into the, side of the Republicans and pro-Israel, MAGA, white Christian, that's what they were all about. Once he started kind of talking and doing things or saying things that was not in the main stream MAGA, it caused them to be, concerned, and that could be why he was killed. Because the whole assassination of Charlie Kirk is very, very weird in of itself. There's a lot of things about it that just doesn't seem right. Um, but yeah, so I feel like that's a possibility. Like they might have gotten rid of him. Now, another thing too is that before Charlie Kirk died, he had started grooming a kid, sort of like how that one guy groomed him and got him like started in that whole college crowd influence. It's this other kid. I think he's pretty young. He's like 19, maybe. I think he may be a freshman in college. Brylin Hollyhand. Watch out for him. He's next. Um, and I think that they're kind of propping him up to be the next Charlie Kirk, from what I've seen, because they are very, very strange. This kid supposedly was good friends with Charlie Kirk, was like Charlie Kirk was his mentor. The same day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he came on a news station and it was just so chipper and so like ready to move on. And it was very weird and off putting for someone who you claim to be close with.
1 hour, hour after Charlie Kirk's murder, this kid, Brylin, Brilyn, gets on Fox News, and watch his giddy, bizarre reaction. This is wild to me.
An incredible story that you share with us really quickly, Brylin, about fourth grade, a podcast. That's incredible. And Charlie Kirk appears on your podcast. Tell me about the role he played for you as a mentor.
Yeah, again, it's somebody that didn't have to do that. He was on Fox News every other hour that year. He didn't have to make time for me as an 11-year-old with this upcoming podcast in the fourth grade to come on and join me, but he did. And not only was it a one-time thing, I've interviewed hundreds of people that I've never talked to again. He stayed a mentor, and he texted me up until this week when I was on another Fox show congratulating me. Like, he didn't have to do that. He could have viewed me as competition. He could have said, oh, I'm not going to give this kid time, but he did. And what I think the larger theme here is the left loves to preach tolerance. They love to preach tolerance. And in situations like this, that's the last thing we're seeing. The media coverage on the other side of the aisle is not like this. I was just scrolling through channels. And obviously the person that took this life, this is heartbreaking, Will. And I really hope, if anything, that people get off the sidelines. This weekend, I'm going to a youth rally in South Carolina. And you better believe that I've already had my team shoot me text saying, Brown, you really need to caution this. You really need to think about not standing in the middle of a park and speak to the next generation. But I am more energized than ever to carry on this torch, to carry on this legacy, because that's what Charlie would have wanted. He would have wanted us to continue to fight the good fight, just like he did.
I don't know. I just think that's really weird. I mean, this is within an hour of his idol, and he says he's more energized than ever.
And so I think they're propping him up to be the next Charlie Kirk. He may be even more, radical. So he's somebody to watch out for, I think. His wife, she's so fake. Everything about this whole thing is weird and performative. And I feel like eventually something's going to come out. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if something came out and they found out this whole thing was a sham. Just like Trump getting his ear shot. I think that was so fake too performative. It's not whenever you see the Trump attempted assassination, it looks way too staged, too perfect, way too perfect with the whole, and then the American flag behind him and the Secret Service people are all like, it just, my God, you couldn't have planned it any better than that. But anyway, this is my whole rant on Trump and everything else. I'm probably going on too long. But thank you for joining me as I talked about many different subjects. Hope you have a good day. Thanks.